As Columbus grows, we're starting to see more and more restaurants pop up with new types of cuisines from all over the world. But Chinese restaurants have been around since the 1800s. And one of the very first, the Far East Restaurant. Charlene had a chance to visit a couple of their descendants to share that story.
Today I'm at Wings Restaurant, located on East Main Street in Bexley. Owner Ken Yi serves favorite Chinese dishes, including meat and veggie stir fries, spicy noodles, and even that grand old standby, egg foo young. The building has long been a center of the Columbus Chinese American community. It was best known in the 1940s as the Far East Restaurant. But the history of the Far East goes back even further to when it first opened around the 1930s right down the street. Oh my goodness, thank you. I've invited Helen Yi and her cousin Irene Barnett here for lunch to learn more about the Far East Restaurant and their family's history. So your great-great-grandfather was the first one in the family to come over to the United States.
Yes.
Where did he wind up settling and what did he do?
My great-great-grandfather actually came here in 1885. He settled in California, in San Francisco, and he actually worked on the railroads. And he also had another job where he was doing something with the market. And one day, they actually had him go deliver some potato sacks. And something happened where the potato sack fell off of the wagon, and he jumped off the wagon to go ahead and pick up the potatoes that were running around all over the place. And the horse got startled, and so it trampled over him and he died.
My gosh, he comes over for a new life and he winds up getting killed on his job.
Exactly. My grandfather, George, had to take the body back over to China because that's part of the Chinese custom. Yes. But then he returned and was able to immigrate to Columbus, Ohio.
Did he decide to come over because he liked what he saw when he was here to, bring home your great-great-grandfather?
Yeah, it was more like America is a land of opportunity.
Still same right now. I mean, if you say let's go to America, I think everybody would say, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Just a better life, more opportunities, jobs, make a living more easily than where he was.
What's funny is my grandfather never wanted to do the hard labor, like working on a railroad. So his dad actually told him, well, you should probably, with your handsome looks and your education of knowing English really well, maybe you should get into the restaurant business, like being a waiter. And so that's what he did. And he actually saved enough money to start his own restaurant. Probably around 1930s, him and his business partner opened the first Far East restaurant, which I actually have a picture of right there. That was the original Far East restaurant.
Now, where was this located?
This was on Main Street. And then maybe about 10 years later, they moved to this location.
This must have been a really strange cuisine for people at that time, especially in Columbus, Ohio, who ate Chinese food back then.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything was shipped from San Francisco, things like bean sprouts and water chestnuts.
Pea pods.
Pea pods, these were all unusual food that you would not find in Columbus, Ohio.
Apparently it caught on. People must have liked it. I mean, they were drawn to the restaurant.
Oh, yeah. There would be lines out the door. My grandfather, he was very good with people. And so a lot of times, like in China, he would build these relationships where people like Irene's dad wanted to work for him. And he came over and actually sponsored the family, her family.
Yep. Her grandfather is my great uncle. And my grandmother just thought, hey, I know a relative in Columbus, Ohio, Let me contact him and see if, he can sponsor you and you can go over there.
That's the way it worked. If you had one person who was here,
right,
somebody had to get the ball rolling,
Yep.
come over, work hard, get things started, And then gradually start helping other members of the family or friends get over here? They had to be adventurous to come this
Yes, because it's
far.
a huge risk of not knowing what you're going into, and I love that pioneering spirit, but because of George saying, and the family, and your mama saying, yes, we will take on these relatives that I hardly know. We're related to them, but fine.
You know, and that's a good point. You have to be incredibly generous too. To take in family and friends and whoever else was coming over. Was that a cultural thing, a family thing, an individual thing?
I think it's a cultural thing.
I do too. And actually, it's very much Chinese to make your fortune and send it home, same idea.
Why restaurants? What is it about a restaurant that seemed so promising to them?
I think the uniqueness of the food, so the different taste in different types of dishes.
Yeah, you know, sharing a meal, I think there is something very human about that could transcend culture.
Yeah.
You know, I might not speak your language, but that tastes good. So we're smiling and we're talking.
Yeah, because when you break bread together, that breaks down barriers, I think, right there.
Absolutely.
When you share a meal, I mean, it's hard to stay mad at somebody, especially if you're having good food.
Right. And this is probably very similar menu.
Really?
Egg foo young. Oh yeah, this is Warsu Gai, egg foo young.
American
Simon
Chinese.
noodles. American Chinese, right.
So they cater to the taste of what Americans would enjoy eating. They would make the traditional, authentic Chinese food for all the staff and the employees because we were all Chinese, but not have it served to any of the customers. And it wasn't on the menu.
And again, and I think adapting menus to your liking is another way of being very accommodating.
But I see something trending like nowadays where more people are wanting the authentic Chinese menu. Before it would be, we would be given the authentic Chinese menus, but if we had friends that were American, they would just get the American Chinese menu.
After he and the rest of your family have run these restaurants and been very successful at it all this time, what's the legacy from that?
My grandfather, him and his business partner were in business for like 40 some years, and they did really well until they decided to split, and my grandfather started a restaurant on Broad Street, which was called the Yee's Restaurant, and then the Far East, which is this building, became Wings. And here we are eating at it today.
That amazes me that this building is actually a historic building and it's part of your family's history.
Growing up as kids, we were taken to the restaurant every night because our parents would work like long hours. And it filtered to me how hard my parents and how hard my grandparents worked to really provide for the family, send money over. And my own personal legacy of my grandfather, we call Ye. He never spoke to me about business, but he was such a great example. His interactions with people were just very authentic, very transparent. He was a funny man. That goes a long way for whatever you're doing in life.
I would not be here today if her grandfather did not say yes, go ahead and come over. I really didn't know Georgie until I came over, but I'm so forever grateful for him for saying yes.
I have so enjoyed talking to you both
Oh, likewise.
and learning
This has
about
been
your
fun.
family. I've learned a whole bunch about food. Now I know. I've been fooled all this time, but it's still good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Asian businesses have been a part of the fabric of Columbus throughout its history. And even though some of these businesses are not around anymore, their memory lives on through their families. The Osuga family, for example, moved their laundry business from California to Columbus when World War II forced them to close their doors. Here's more of that story.
The Osuga family owned the American Cleaning and Dye Works Company in California.
The dry cleaners was actually doing very well. When the war started, it all came to a stop. They were put into the relocation camps in Heart Mountain, Wyoming.
Which was a very desolate place, just very cold in the winter. After the war, because both of my siblings were here in Columbus, the parents moved to Columbus.
They came on a train with the luggage that they had to carry into the camps, and they had $25.
Their brother went to college to become a minister. Their father went back into the dry cleaning business.
So our family saying was that we'll either clean your clothes or clean your soul.
He eventually ended up getting a dry cleaners on Northwood.
So I started delivering dry cleaning when I was 15 and a half.
Our dad was a very gregarious person. He didn't know a stranger.
Our house was always full of guests, and particularly on Sundays when we would have students and folks from the university, and particularly he liked to entertain students who were from Japan.
What I learned mostly from our experience, it's faith and family that really counts, and it's not the monetary things. They can be taken away from you. Even in America, it could be taken away from you no matter what. If you're an American or not, it could be taken away. Mom and Pop never talked bitterly about the experience at all. But there's also a Japanese saying, it's shikataganai, you know, you can't help it. There's nothing we can do about it, so we have to go with it. I think that's our family too, is coming here to Columbus, Ohio with nothing and then starting again. And I'm really proud.
Like many businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic, Asian businesses face their own unique struggles. Producer Leticia Wiggins had the chance to sit down with a few Asian community leaders at the Rice Bowl on the South Side, which has been in operation since 1962, to talk more about those challenges.
Rice Bowl Restaurant has been sitting on Southside Columbus since 1962, and our family took over in 1981 till now for 41 years. Our family immigrated from Hong Kong, April 1974. When I met my husband, his side family wanted a Ding Ho restaurant. And I said, oh, want a restaurant. It'd be good and busy, the opportunity, you know. Our family, 7, my mom, my dad, sister, brother, could participate to get into business, so work all together.
A true family business.
Yes,
Why Columbus, Ohio to come to from Hong Kong?
My aunt and uncle who sponsor us, they live in Columbus, Ohio. There's a big opportunity for a family to start a business, you know, for the better life.
I was going to ask, what was the landscape like? Was it easy to get the ingredients that you would want?
It's hard to get it back in days. It's hard to get bok choy or Napa even. So they had to order from San Francisco, big shipment, and then distribute it to the people.
And part of this discussion is about your restaurant and how COVID-19, the entire pandemic, affected the business.
Well, at that time, you know, the government ordering shut down the dine-in service for March 14, and a lot of people get panicked. And a lot of restaurants even closed for the number of months for the business, but we stay open. We were lucky to survive, actually. But during the time, we had a couple cooks got scared too, so it's all our family work only, so we working 7 days straight. Get the food prep, you know, get the business going. But we do okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we survive, yes.
Joy, as somebody who knows a lot about all the businesses throughout the Asian American community, what was that like on the impact for them during this?
Certainly they struggled during the pandemic. A lot of, like what Connie said, a lot of Asian restaurants, Asian-owned restaurants, they closed. On the other hand, there were some, or a few, Asian-owned restaurants that even thrive because of carry-out. One of the challenges that we face as for the Asian-owned businesses is this rise of hate crime for Asians, just because, of course, that fallacy of where, of course, COVID started.
Yes.
And so a lot of us, a lot of those Asian-owned businesses were affected by it. I mean, nationwide, I know that anti-Asian hate crime rose up to about 300%. Not very much here in Columbus, Ohio, because culturally, we don't really want to make waves, you know, and we just mind our own business. And there was this mistrust about reporting those kinds of incidents. So there was that fear of reporting. And of course, there was that fear about this hate against, again, Asian, especially the Asian-owned businesses. They were very much affected by that.
I do heard some restaurant, they get threatened letter. Yes.
How is it being an Asian American, Asian business in the city of Columbus? What is that like? And maybe Joy, from what you've heard from some of the people you work with, Connie as a business owner.
We had a lot of people supportive, for the business at the time, come from everywhere. We were amazed, all the supporters to keep us alive.
Thanks to the Small Business Administration, SBA, and the City of Columbus and Franklin County, who provided education and really asked all these businesses, the Asian-owned in particular too, through the Asian American Commerce Group, is to take a loan, through PPP, of course, and the EIDL loan. And then Franklin County had this recovery grant that a lot of our Asian-owned businesses actually took advantage of. That's how Asian-owned small business survived. We had to reach out to make sure that we are able to provide the education. We had a speaker from SBA, we had a speaker from Columbus State that really helped them with the resources, like giving them access to funds, access to finding ways to help them survive through this pandemic. We have construction, engineering businesses, IT-owned businesses. We have restaurant, hotel, nail salons, as a matter of fact, very big nowadays, owned by mostly Nepalese or Indian, from eyebrow to massage to nail, are really coming out in the woodwork right now in terms of ownership from Asian women, as a matter of fact.
And that kind of speaks to how diverse the community is as well. Are there any obstacles for you, Connie, as like a woman owning a business, would you say?
There's a lot of hard work, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when people come in and sit down and eat at the Rice Bowl, what makes the restaurant unique, and what would you say some of your specialties are here?
Everyone had their own specialty. Number one dish, Warsu Gai. General Tso chicken. Now, spicy chicken wings. Egg roll, because of homemade. So they love the sweet and sour sauce, homemade mustard.
What is the most rewarding thing about working here, do you think?
You see all the customer here coming in, just like a family. Some of them travel long distance. They left and come back, first thing they come back. They come here, get their favorite food.
That probably feels pretty good to see that, right?
When they walk in, I say, oh, you're here, It's like a big family, all the customer, all those years. Without them, we would be here.
Joy and Connie, thank you so much for joining me in this conversation today. It's been really wonderful to learn more about the community and your business and the Asian American Commerce Group, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
WOSU's Curious Sea Bus answers your questions about our region, its history, and its people. Columbus has well-known neighborhoods like Italian Village and German Village, names that reflect European immigration to Central Ohio. But unlike other major cities, Columbus does not have a neighborhood that reflects Asian heritage. Curious Sea Bus received a submission from someone wanting to know why is there no Chinatown in Columbus, Ohio? To find an answer, we spoke with history professor and author Hu Ping Ling.
Oh, this is a great question, but I think I want to, maybe we have to clarify the definition of Chinatown. Generally, when people talk about the Chinatown, that means is several blocks of business and commercial areas in the inner city where there's ethnic Chinese concentrated there. There are several elements, right? One is its location. Mostly the Chinatown is the inner city of the large city. And the second, we can look at the demographic composition. Chinatown, along with Jewish town or Italian town or Japan town, usually they are area where this ethnic group concentrated. You can see the ethnic business and their lodging, and oftentimes you see the front store, then behind or upstairs where the family lives. We can call it the historical Chinatown or conventional Chinatown or mainstream Chinatown, which appeared in the United States as well as in Canada, in Australia around the 1840s. That's the time so-called gold rush appeared in those three localities. So the Chinese also migrated there and settled down. But since the 1960s, a dramatic political, social, historical, and economic change happened. We had this 1965 immigration reform that reformed the traditional quota system and allowed more professional and educated immigration to enter the country. So that resulted a drastic change in the demographic picture of the ethnic Chinese communities. I have been studying Asian population, urban population since the 1980s. But starting from the 1990s, I began to focus on more in Midwest area, okay, in this locality, because of my job and also my research interest. So the Midwest is unique. The Asian American population, for example, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City, more than 60% of the population were entrepreneurs and professionals. While in New York and San Francisco, more than 80% of them were working class or small business shop owners or helpers. So there's a big population composition difference. So that dictated that Asian Americans in Midwest are better integrated socially, economically into larger society. So that is a major difference, and that difference determined them residentially more integrated into suburban middle-class neighborhood. There's no need for them to form their concentrated physical Chinatown. Another factor is the reception of the local area, okay, from both public and the government. Generally, the public in the Midwest is more laid back, more friendly. As early as the 1870s, when Asian Americans first chased out of the West Coast by the anti-Chinese sentiment, and they dispersed to Midwest, South, and other areas. Your life quality is better here. Okay? You can live in a larger, more comfortable housing in suburban area. So now the infrastructure is no longer those physical buildings. The Chinatown, you have the Chinese restaurants, Chinese grocery stores, or Chinese people live there. So that kind of a physical infrastructure is replaced by this cultural, okay, multicultural and social infrastructure, because American is a multi-ethnic community, it's a nation of nations. So we still see the differences, but they might not be in the traditional form of these physical, ethnic, concentrated areas.
Do you have a question for Curious C-Bus? Head to wosu.org/curious to submit your idea, vote on which question we should investigate next, and see what we've covered so far.
Thanks for being with us, and remember you can catch all our episodes on columbusneighborhoods.org, plus see our stories on the WOSU mobile app, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll see you back here next week on Columbus Neighborhoods.